Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with the section literary terms, and we are going to study the term tragic comedy. Tragic comedy, as its name suggests, is half tragedy and half comedy. As it is clear from the title of the term, it is a type of drama which is half tragic and half comic. In other words, the tragic elements and comic elements are blended together in a harmonious way. Both the elements, tragic and comic, they are mixed in tragic comedy. It has a very powerful tragic background, and the comic relief serves as a turning point in it. Whereas tragic point is concerned, it is there in the background of the drama, but in between, certain comic elements, comic scenes are there which provide relief to the audience. Both people of high degree and people of low degree are included in a tragic comedy. Whereas the characters are concerned, they are of both types. They are of high class as well as mean type of character. They are included in tragic comedy. In his preface to the Faithful Shepherdess, John Fletcher pointed out that tragic comedy wants deaths. Means in tragic comedy, death it is lacking, it is not there. Which is enough to make it no tragedy. When death is not there, it cannot be considered a perfect tragedy. Yet brings some near it. Yet, though death is not there, but tragic elements are there, it approaches a bit near to tragedy, which is enough to make it no comedy. It shows that when tragic element is there, it is not a proper comedy in itself, which must be a representation of familiar people. He further writes, a god is as lawful in tragic comedy as in a tragedy, and mean and the middle class people as in comedy. Both type of elements, they are blended there. William Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice has been considered as a great tragic comedy. William Shakespeare's drama, The Merchant of Venice, it is considered as a great tragic comedy. One finds aristocratic people along with the people belonging to lower class characters. The audience, the readers, they find that there in this drama there are both type of characters, aristocratic as well as lower class. A very different fantastic element is introduced, and the audience have to accept a world where a suitor may win or lose a wealthy bride by opening the right casket, or one of two wrong ones. The three made of lead silver and gold, respectively. The threat of death to Antonio is developed in the drama till the famous trial scene when Portia's speeches reverse the end. In the trial scene, when Portia provides logic arguments, till then the threat of death was there for Antonio. Shakespeare's late plays like Cymbeline, The Winter Tale, and The Tempest are tragic comic romances. These tragicomic romances continue to explore the themes of implied town country opposition, the destructive jealousy, the loss, reconciliation, and redemption. However, the ending of these plays is comic, that is, they have a happy ending. Many writers and critics do not approve of this genre. For example, Sydney criticizes it on the ground that neither the admiration and commiseration nor the right sportfulness is by the mongrel tragic comedy obtained. Milton also attacked it. He wrote in his preface to Samson Agonistes to vindicate tragedy from the small esteem, or rather infamy, which, in the account of many, it undergoes at this way, with other common interludes, happening through the poet's error of intermixing comic stuff with tragic sadness and gravity, or introducing trivial and vulgar person, which by all judicious hath been counted absurd, and brought in without discretion, corruptly to gratify the people. However, John Dryden challenged these views. He cannot but conclude to honor of our nation, that we have invented, increased, and perfected a more pleasant way of writing for the stage than was ever known to the ancients or moderns of any nation, which is tragic comedy. Similarly, Dr. Johnson also does not see any impropriety in mixing pain with pleasure. In the words of Nicole, it can be said, the fact is that tears and laughter lie in close proximity. It is but a step from the one to the other. We feel nothing incongruous in practice in laughing at the jest of Mercutio, and at the same time witnessing the tragic story of Juliet and her Romeo. Just as we feel nothing incongruous when in a novel of Dickens we pass from hilarious laughter to the most tearful forms of pathetic tragic comedy. Tragic comedy, in fact, provides an aesthetic pleasure in its own way. That was all about tragic comedy. Next, we shall be taking rhythm. The next term of our syllabus is rhythm. Rhythm, according to M.H. Abraham, is a recognizable, although varying pattern in the beat of the stressed or accents in the stream of speech sounds. In verse, the rhythm is determined by the metrical pattern, whereas in prose or free verse, it is determined by the arrangement of words. An intelligent and meticulous writer arranges his rhythms so that the impact of what is being said may be intensified. Some important rhythms include falling rhythm, rising rhythm, and sprung rhythm. Falling rhythm is one in which the stress comes on the first syllable of metrical foot. Means the stress is on the first syllable of the word. Whereas rising rhythm is concerned, it occurs when the stress falls on the last syllable of the foot. And whereas sprung rhythm is concerned, G.N. Hopkins describes in his preface to poems that sprung rhythm is measured by feet consisting of from 1 to 4 syllables. It may contain two stresses which may follow one another or which may be delivered or which may be divided rather by 1, 2 or 3 unaccented syllables. That's all about our today's lecture. Rest of the terms we shall continue in our next lecture. Thank you.